Already president of Cuba, Miguel Diaz-Canel is now also the first head of the island's powerful Communist Party since the revolution to not be named Castro. Diaz-Canel was chosen on Monday as the first secretary at a closed-door Congress of the Cuban Communist Party, the only political party allowed on the island, after Raúl Castro said he was retiring, if not completely ending his influence. He will be consulted on the most important strategic decisions affecting our nation, Diaz-Canel said of his predecessor. At 61, Diaz-Canel is far younger than the 80 and 90-year-olds who fought alongside Fidel Castro, and since the revolution have occupied most of the top positions in Cuba. U.S. officials who have met Diaz-Canel say while he is less likely to lecture about the evils of imperialism than the Castros, he is a firm believer in the system they created.
Really, to move on and to enact the kind of reforms that Cuba is going to need to enact, they've got to move well beyond the Castros.
While few expect younger officials like Diaz-Canel, who was handpicked by Raúl Castro, to deviate from the party line, the symbolism of a Cuba without the Castros officially in charge is striking. Most Cubans were born after the 1959 revolution, and until recently have only known a Castro at the helm of their country. Now that this famous family that has impacted Cuba so deeply is beginning to let go of power, the question becomes whether the Castro's revolution can survive without them. Despite the injection of new blood at the top, the Cuban government is struggling to adapt to the times. Critics on the island use increased internet access to show what they say is growing poverty and injustice. An economy ravaged by COVID has led to longer and longer lines for food. The Trump administration placed some of the toughest sanctions on Cuba in decades, which President Biden, so far, appears reluctant to lift. As he announced his retirement, Raúl Castro said he was leaving power, but not giving up his long fight. I will continue soldiering on as one more revolutionary combatant, he says, ready to make my modest contribution until the end of my life. But Castro will turn 90 in June, the age his brother Fidel was when he died. And in eastern Cuba, Castro has already built a tomb for himself, next to the grave of his wife, who died in 2007. Cuba's future is uncertain, but the era of the Castros' uninterrupted long rule is coming to an end. Patrick Ottman, CNN Havana.